to give you a large slice of cake, what would be your first thought? Would it be, wow, I'm so excited and deserving of this, without any second thought? Or, I cannot eat this without feeling guilty soon after, so I'll decline it. Or possibly, I'll eat this now and purge the cake after so that the calories and fat will not stay in my body. You see, there are people who have these thoughts running through their minds excessively and leading to various eating disorders. Some may have no problem with a slice of cake and may not think twice about it, while others are handed the same slice of cake and may have worry of their weight, appearance, and feelings later. It is important to be informed on the topic of eating disorders because they are so prevalent in this world. In fact, at least 30 million Americans suffer from an eating disorder. According to the 2020 National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders, at least one person dies every 62 minutes as a direct result from an eating disorder. Now think about the amount of people outside of the U.S. and how their statistics add up to create a worldwide number of up to 70 million. So what provokes my interest on this topic? Well, I have been the person struggling with slices of cake and many other foods that are triggers due to my passive anorexia and bulimia. Through my experience of handling this disorder and seeing those who are near and dear to me combat eating disorders, I have found that it takes a lot of learning, understanding, and most importantly, growing. Today, I will initially be discussing the science behind eating disorders, such as anorexia nervosa, bulimia, and binge eating disorder, including the biological and psychological aspects, following with the influence of media and societal standards, and concluding with the negative health effects of eating disorders result within the cardiovascular, gastrointestinal, neurological, and endocrine systems. To begin, let's take a look at the scientific background of eating disorders. Starting with biological factors, a family history of disorders and excessive dieting can be passed on through genetics and brain chemistry. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, psychology is a root of all eating disorders in that they are mental disorders. Many of those facing challenges related to eating disorders have unrealistically high expectations of perfectionism. This can lead to body dysmorphia, which is defined as obsessive focus on a perception of flaws in appearance. They may also stem from a history of anxiety or trauma. In fact, according to the NEDA, 2/3 of those with anorexia have experienced obsessive compulsive disorder and social phobia, general anxiety, and other behavioral patterns in order to gain a sense of control. Although the biological factors and psychological factors play a large role in what eating disorders can stem from, influence from the media contributes to that as well. The media is generally used to convey an image in order to persuade and convince an audience. And this ties in with the influence of unhealthy eating habits in that it may sway viewers to conform to social standards of what a perfect body really is. Many platforms are used widely and are accessible to those with appearance insecurities. For example, a young girl may see a model and think of her as a perfect idol or body inspiration. Even if the model has gone through eating disorders themselves, such as starvation efforts, this leads to a longing for an unnatural and unhealthy diet due to a socially acceptable figure. Cyberbullying and bullying in general have also been known cause of body dysmorphia and other disorders due to its impact on its victims. Body shaming is a risk factor and creates a false stigma of an ideal body. The audience of media typically and often compare themselves to the image they see and are striving for and go to extreme to achieve the perfect mental goal. Whether it's from advertised pills on TV and in magazines or body shaming, it will most likely lead to an influenced targeted audience to lose weight one way or another, creating a mass of mental health disorders and obsessions with appearances. As a result, many individuals struggling with eating disorders will go to extreme measures to obtain an ideal image of one's body, even if it means harming their own. There are copious amounts of health-related issues due to eating disorders that can be permanent and deadly. Malnourishment, internal rupturing, and poor digestion and weakened brain are the main effects of eating disorders cause. The cardiovascular system struggles due to the body eating away at muscle tissues for fuel to replace food. The pulse and blood pressure will begin to drop while purging. The body is depleted of electrolytes, potassium, preventing proper heartbeat and muscle activity. The endocrine system may be affected in that some women may have menstruation irregularity or lose their period totally. Some may begin having symptoms of reduced resting metabolic rate. In many cases of bulimia and anorexia, there is slow digestion or gastroparesis, blocked intestines, and even rupturing of the stomach and esophagus in bulimia. With the neurological side effects, it includes dizziness, tingling of limbs, and without lipids from the fats consumed to coat the neurons sending signals to the body and the rest of the brain becomes very difficult for the brain. Now, there's a lot of information to take in. However, it is extremely important to be educated on this topic because it is so prevalent in this world. The psychological control these disorders have over people is truly shocking and so powerful. The media takes a strong lead in the brewing of body dysmorphia and eating disorders. These disorders can be deadly if not controlled or treated, as they affect so many parts of the body. To conclude, eating disorders should be spoken about more often on a serious note due to the damage they do and the lives that they take. For example, if you knew someone who was very sick, you would most likely do as much as you could to seek treatment for them. A mental illness is also a very serious sickness and deserves the same respect. As someone with experience with multiple eating disorders, I know that even if it's just a simple slice of cake, there is so much to be learned about in order to spread awareness of these growing illnesses, and there is so much that can be done to help those who deal with it on a daily basis.